Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Environment and Energy. Will the minister update the House on the action the government is taking to put downward pressure on energy prices, as this is of great concern to local residents in Gilmore? Is the minister aware of any differences in policy proposals that would ultimately hit the family budget for all Australians?
The Minister for the Environment and Energy.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I thank the member for Gilmore for her question, her deep concern about large employers in her electorate, like Nowra Chemicals, like Manildra, who are dealing with higher electricity prices. Now, the Turnbull government has been taking action on all fronts to put downward pressure on prices. We've been reining in the power of the poles and wires companies, and if the Labor Party did it, consumers would be $6.5 billion better off, Mr Speaker. When it comes to the retailers, we've got significant commitments from them to provide more information, better information, comparable information to consumers. And we're putting in place a mechanism to be able to restrict gas exports to ensure we have more gas for domestic supply. And we know that more gas we produce has put upward pressure on gas prices. And you know who was in government when the decisions were taken to make these big exports of gas? It was the Labor Party, Mr Speaker, when the Leader of the Opposition was a senior minister. Now, the member for Port Adelaide was asked about what did they know and when, and he said he didn't know anything. He told insiders we didn't know anything. But you only have to go to the 2012 Energy White Paper, when Labor was in office, which I said, and I quote, about increasing gas exports. It will lead to, quote, tighter supply and higher prices, Mr Speaker. So you can imagine the great interest I had in the interview that the member for Port Adelaide now would rather forget with David Spears last Thursday. And normally you will get those interviews sent out to you on email by the member's office. But it didn't come on Thursday, it didn't come on Friday, it didn't come on Saturday, it didn't come on Sunday, it hasn't even come today, Mr Speaker. It hasn't even come today. Now, you know why? You know why? Because there was a question in there, Mr Speaker, from David Spears, who said to the member for Port Adelaide, your own white paper told you there would be an impact on prices, but you said you weren't warned. This is what the member for Port Adelaide said. Everyone knew there was going to be an impact on prices, Mr Speaker. Everybody knew. So, Mr Speaker, here is the Labor Party and a Leader of the Opposition who said they stand up for blue-collar workers. But through their actions, gas prices have increased, electricity prices have increased, and the jobs of people in manufacturing, in plastics, in paper, in chemicals, in cafes, in pubs are all now put in jeopardy because the Labor Party, in order to win Green votes, have given away the blue-collar workers that you should be standing up for.
The minister's time has concluded.